Hello, patrons. Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. So I'm here this morning. Unfortunately, I had to postpone my live stream yesterday because I was in Sydney. I'll just actually turn on my heater. It's been a bit of a frantic morning this morning. Unfortunately, last night, as I said, I was in Sydney actually with my husband yesterday, and he was having some tests. So, unfortunately, when I got home last night, I actually did a reading and uploaded it to YouTube. Hi, Lynn. I'm just telling everybody about my saga last night. So I uploaded the reading to YouTube. Now, it wasn't playing back on YouTube. It was just buffering and freezing. Now, I found that extremely odd because it was fine on my laptop. It's fine in my YouTube software application. It plays okay in there. It plays okay on my laptop. It just doesn't play okay on YouTube. Now, that reading was all about whether or not the US was veering toward a fascist state. Certainly a fascist-leaning government. And why would that question be posed? That question would be posed because of what we've seen with the Air Force staying at Trump's Scottish resort, the Vice President and his entourage staying in Scotland, the number of foreign dignitaries staying in Trump's DC hotels. I think this is all just the tip of the iceberg. Very worrying, the National Weather Service and Wilbur Ross now, and we'll look at that because that's making people angry, threatened to sack anyone in the Weather Service that contravened Trump's Alabama nonsense mistake. And of course we've got William Barr coming out and saying only the executive branch can answer these subpoenas because only the executive branch can hold the executive branch accountable. Now, there is nothing more ridiculous than that. So this is some of the things that video covered. And for some reason, I spent maybe 3 hours last night, you can see the bags under my eyes, trying to get that damn thing to work. Now, when I posted it on YouTube, I just got a barrage of people saying, this video doesn't work, angry emoji, angry emoji. So in the end, I had to take it down. And I was just gobsmacked that this supposed glitch, because it was working fine on my laptop, it was working fine in my recording suite, it was working fine in YouTube's software, but as soon as it got uploaded publicly to the masses, it wasn't. Hi, Angela. Hi, Lynn. So very, very disappointing turn of events that I did a reading actually myself because I was so upset about it last night. I did a reading to see if what was going on. Now, granted, my readings for myself aren't, I don't like them. Well, they're not as accurate. I just think I'm too emotionally involved with when I read for myself. They can give me some indication. And it actually said that I asked the question, was YouTube censoring me? And it actually came out in the affirmative. So I think when I put my analytical, logical head on, I think when you start to mention words like I'm reluctant even to mention it today in case they start to interfere with this live stream. But when we're talking generally, let's just say generally about fascist governments or fascist-leaning governments, I think there's something that's triggered there. The other content in that video were questions surrounding the Air Force, so there was a military aspect to it. Okay, was the sound and video not synced up? That's what it was. No, it was absolutely perfect. You saw my Brexit video that I did at the same time. No problems at all. As I was saying to Lynn, fine in the editing suite, fine in my playback on my laptop, fine in YouTube's software editing suite, fine. As soon as it got uploaded to the public, then it was kibosh. I am thinking about putting it on Vimeo, but right now I just got swamped with so much negativity. I'm kind of just thinking, no, it's time to recover my energy and move on. Because if something's that hard, that's a good indication that you have to go back and see, why is it that hard? Okay, so yeah, see, this is the thing, you can't, this is what I was dealing with on YouTube. People were saying, but it's playing okay for me. And then someone else would come back and said, no, it's not for me. What's going on here? Okay. But it was sort of like people going to the theatre and not being able to see their film, and then basically throwing popcorn at the screen. I mean, that's basically what it was like. So I think, no, because, well, yeah, I could make it available. I can try and put it on Vimeo, but I actually pay for storage on Vimeo each month in order to do that service for my patrons. And I'm just out of storage at the moment because I've uploaded a lot this month. So I'd have to wait until the 12th of September. And then I can upload to Vimeo, because Vimeo is not like YouTube. It's not free. It's free with about, I think, 2 megabytes, but you go beyond, not 2 megabytes, 2 gigabytes, but you go beyond that and you have to start paying for it. So I'll try, but right now I'm getting antsy about it, and I'm just getting over it. So what I will do, though, for YouTube today, I will probably revisit that subject that I read on last night. I will give a broad overview. I'll try and not use the F word, the fascist word, and I'll rephrase it to authoritarian or something like that. I'll be judicious around any reference to the military. I'm not saying the Pentagon is descending, but who knows? Who knows? Other readers are having Amanda Ellis from the UK. She was getting fairly close to some, quite raw subjects, and she started having this sort of thing too. I've had viewers come in and say, it just won't let me subscribe. It's like the voting machines. I go to subscribe, it takes the subscription away. I do it again, it takes it away. So I'm not one for conspiracy theories, and I'm having a bit of a rant here today, but I'm starting to notice some kind of change in the way that the ease of usability of YouTube for these sorts of readings. So I'm going to push on, because the energy is just starting to annoy me around this, and I don't think it's good for me or good for anyone else. So shake off that energy. Understand that there are fairly strong forces operating at the moment that unfortunately are in power at this point in time, and that this is a tipping point, and that things, yes, unfortunately, things are getting worse, but they have to get worse before they get better. So it's a real push, I feel, from these authoritarian regimes, but it is a push that's not going to be successful. So let's start today's readings. Yeah, thank you, Angela. Thank you. Yeah, okay, I'm glad. And, as I said, Amanda Ellis was, really, and of course, when you're dealing with, a mass audience it's Patreon's like a walk in the forest. It's like walking through the flowers and smelling the roses. It's an absolutely wonderful forum, and I tend to let my hair down on Patreon, whereas I will hold back a bit on YouTube, because once you get into that mass audience, you can get I spend a couple of hours a day moderating YouTube comments. I don't want to disable comments, because that's not right. But, well, I guess for some people it is okay to disable, but not for me. I want those comments to keep coming in, and I wanted to be able to share. But you get some really dark people on YouTube, and the energy can sometimes be, I felt particularly around the Epstein readings, the energy is very, very dark. Prince Andrew, that reading that I did on Prince Andrew, I got walloped from fans of the royals that think that they can do no wrong. Of course, the Trumpsters don't worry me. I just bat them off with a baseball bat, and off they go. But yeah, you can actually, when you get that crowd mentality, it can actually be difficult to manage. But I've got some background in communications, and I'm fairly firm. But sometimes, like last night when I'm tired, I was back from Sydney taking my husband to the hospital. It was all too much. But anyway, now I've had my rant. Yeah. Okay, so I'm not alone. I'm not the only reader alone. All right, so as I said, Patreon's like a walk in the forest smelling the flowers. So thank you for all being here today, and let's get started. Thank you for allowing me to offload a bit, and let's get started with our reading. All right, so Congress is back this week. I find the flagrant violations of your emoluments laws, and I worry that the same thing can happen in Australia. I find that very unsettling. I want to know now. Congress has stepped up their investigations into possible emoluments investigations. They're not saying now. Commentators are not saying if he's broken these laws, but it's how many. So let's have a look. Let's start on a positive footing, and let's have a look whether Congress's, or the House, I should say, the House investigations of the emoluments violations, will that be successful? What do we need to know about that investigation? Will that investigation actually be successful into Trump's potential violations of emoluments laws? All right, let's take a look. People, let's get back to what we do best, and that's digging for some information. Trump comes straight out as soon as we start. The lovers, the deals, the sweet deals. All right, I'll bring the laptop down so you can see these lovely cards. Okay, the lovers. All right, so this is just the tip of the iceberg I'm feeling with him. I've spoken about this before, but the way the cards have evolved in the last 12 months to 18 months or so, the lovers is coming out more and more in the reading, showing that this is it's all about Trump, but more than that, it's actually very visibly all about Trump. Okay, what is their challenge here? Okay, and here's the other layer for this card. Anyone who throws cards will read in layers, or if you're learning, you can go deeper and deeper as the new insight comes to you. What is challenging his relationship as a president with his constituency is this. It's his selfish. It's his. This is indulgence. This is someone who has, more, who's used to a lavish lifestyle, who has enough to meet, more than enough to meet one's resources, who thinks that they're. I feel that the biggest aspect of this card is that they feel they're entitled to this wealth. So here we have our two cards straight up with as the signifier cards, which is the overseeing view of the reading. So far we have these cards. Will the House get anywhere with their investigations? We've certainly got him having to look at the number of wands here coming for this person. 2, 4, 6, and he's got 1. He's certainly having to defend himself, and rightly so. What we have in the past is the Sun card. What an interesting card to come up, because this is the card of happiness and joy. Okay, so why would Trump be so happy in relation to this question regarding emoluments? Because the presidency was absolutely an opportunity for Trump and the Trump family. I'll get to the Trump family dynasty in a minute. Let's see what's in the sky. There's a lot of, don't underestimate the emoluments alleged potential possible violations. there is a lot of feeling around this. It's almost like people want to shake themselves off from this. It's been a blatant and obvious move by Trump and his family. Here we've got balance. In the reading that I did yesterday, the balance card came up, the temperance card came up, and it was challenged by the hermit card. So the more isolated Trump gets, the more unbalanced he becomes. So again, this lovers card, this luxury card, the imbalance or balance card, the hermit card, all keep coming up. So it is around, he thinks he's entitled to do what he's doing. He doesn't know, well, I won't say he doesn't know any better. He probably does. He doesn't care. But in the near future, we've got balance coming in. We've got paired with the Chariot, and this again is a December timeframe. So you can see these cards continually coming up. There's a victory here for the House currently, and it's not even in the future position, it's in the here and now. And I think such is the depth of feeling against these blatant moves by Trump and his family. This is a victory card. You know, wow. All right, what's the environment around? Yeah, this is the Queen of Pentacles. She comes forward around stability. I generally associate her with the economy. So what is this a victory for? What is the environment? It is a victory for the people, I feel. That you can, it's almost like the French Revolution. I won't say the French Revolution, but there is some kind of energy that is similar to that. Feed them cake, Marie Antoinette said. It's that kind of, I think, disgust in a lot of people. And the House is on, if I was speaking politically, I'd have to say the House is on a winner now with this. The energy is right for this investigation, and so I think it's going to be successful. The hopes and the fears, we've got money loss, and this is the taxpayer. So the other serious aspect of this, when you see your government flagrantly spending taxpayer dollars, in the reading yesterday, I wondered if someone would tally things up and find out with Trump's visits to his golfing resorts. Okay, this is a grifter. With all his security detail, with the members of Congress coming and going, I think it's the tip of the iceberg, and media is actually going to start to tally, and I think we're going to be quite shocked at what the loss is there for the taxpayer. The fact that he goes off golfing and he says, I'm working from my golf course, my golf club, and dignitaries are coming and going. Well, dignitaries, security details have to eat. Sometimes there could be overnight stays. Trump's own cabinet members, all of that is on the government tab. Now, I spent 8 years in the public service, and I know about allowances, meal allowances, travel allowances, etc. And all of that applies to every single person that's associated with Donald Trump's entourage, all at his resorts, okay? So this is quite significant, this investigation. They're on a winner here with this Ace of Wands. And they're going to, this card comes forward when there's a momentum of support amongst voters. This is only going to grow now. Feed them cake. No wonder, well, politically speaking, the longer that Donald Trump stays in office, the better it is to get him out of office. But the risk there is the damage that he does. Look at the Queen of Cups coming forward here as a clarifier card. There is so much more to come here, and this is tapping into that energy around supporting everybody. Governments aren't there to feed and line their own pockets, neither, but they do. This is about the people. This is people power that the Democrats can tap into. Now, the Hanged Man, this came up in my reading on this subject for Trump yesterday. He's going to be stopped in some way. Now, whether he will pull back from this blatant grifting because it's actually going to get him into trouble, I don't know, but I think the public outrage is just going to grow. base of the pack energies. These are very important to look at, and I usually pull 2, maybe 3 cards, because this is what we don't see. This is going on behind the scenes, so it's actually happening in real time in relation to the question. We have loss here, the 5 of Cups, the loss, and we have, here we go, Pelosi. And we've got justice and the sword of truth. So absolutely, Congress is on a winner. Trump's going to lose. There is no winning here for Trump and the Republicans. It's a no-brainer that there is blatant violations of the emoluments laws or clauses, according to my tarot reading. So that's heartening straight up and down. And it's a good way to start the reading after what's been going on in the last couple of weeks. Let me just see if I can catch up with your comments. Okay, so sorry you have to put up with something. Yeah, that's okay, Angela. Here, his crimes do just keep piling up. Hello, Jana. I'm glad everybody is here. Well, you know, my regulars are here. Okay, so let's move on to the Air Force. This is probably one of the most disappointing things that I can see, because apart from Wilbur Ross threatening to sack those in the your National Weather Service for speaking the truth, these are sort of very, very worrying things when the public service loses their their independence. I wonder, the Air Force has launched a review. Of course they would have to. That's the answer. You know, when you get such a sticky problem, you just say, well, we're going to review it. And then the review comes out saying, well, we acknowledge this wasn't the best decision for the taxpayers. However, it's within the bounds of, yada, yada. And as a result of perhaps some poor perceptions, well, they wouldn't use these words, but this gives you an overview. We have instigated some new procedures which mandate that the lowest possible TA, travel allowance, has to be sought before you move to other. It'll be something like that. But at the end of the day, what I want to know, what happened with the Air Force. If anything happens to this live stream, don't worry, I'll just keep coming back on. What happened with the Air Force that they now, it's not the first time they've refueled at the Prestwick Airport near Trump's Scottish resort. That has gone on before, but it's the escalation. Now, the escalation since the election. Now, what happened here? Why did they choose this Scottish resort to stay? Let me just shuffle these cards. Why did they choose this Scottish resort, Trump's Scottish resort? Why did they choose it? Why did the Air Force choose this Scottish resort to stay? Let's have a look at what the cards are going to tell us. Signifier card, fending off, defending themselves. So it's probably come down from the upper echelons, including the cabinet, the head of that portfolio. It's come down and through the upper echelons that they should look to stay at these resorts, because there is a defending of oneself as a signifier card. They're challenged by manipulation, basically. Okay, so the Air Force, it's looking like, were put into a very nefarious position. They were put into a position they didn't like. And there was probably some pushback at some level. There was probably some pushback. Now, it could be, see, these are the stories that will come out when after Trump goes. The brave public servants that stood up to him and were pushed back and reallocated to some corner of the department and given no work to do for 6 months, or those that were pushed out and had to resign, or those that had to transfer to another department. I think that is the authoritarian nature of this government has filtered down to all levels of the government. All right. So let's have a look at what the foundation of the reading. They're certainly reevaluating now because of the public pressure. They're going back and they're looking at how. I mean, this is the military. This is the military that go into natural disasters and have these sophisticated plans that actually clean up and help and mitigate loss. And, you know, these are top level planners. Something's gone wrong here for them, and they've gone back to the drawing board. We've got the money in politics, the dark money in politics. And this could be also that the Air Force now, there's probably high-level talks going on about how they need to go forward. And this is also a strategy card. But we have the head of Boeing, a former head of Boeing as the Defence Force. He's an acting cabinet member. I don't think he's been confirmed. This is not a military man. Would this have happened on Jim Mattis' watch? We have to ask ourselves. This card is probably saying no. Let me bring the laptop down. Okay, so what have we got here? What's in the sky? The Ace of Wands. Okay, so this is a new start. So they're probably going to come back now. That review, I thought it would be a whitewash. It may be in terms of blaming or overtly calling this whole thing out, but they will come up with some new procedures. That's clear from this reading, and that's good. We've got this relationship in the immediate future. There could be more come out here now on this whole matter, because this is these are deals between two people. So it's not the end of this matter. I think it's just the start of it. Okay, the Knight of Wands. This is the investigation. I do feel, to be fair to the Air Force, that they're gonna bunker right down on this and try and find a new way forward. It's a coming together. It's a coming together and a support, which is what the military does when they're under fire, I should say. So the Air Force are going to come together in some way to try and come up with a new strategy, which will prevent something like this happening again. The fear is loss. It could be that someone is stood down over this, somebody who authorised that, or in some way there's loss, or it could be someone has transferred. There is certainly a plan going on at the moment. However, here we have Congress investigating, and that's the outcome. So, yeah. Although we've got the Hanged Man, the investigation not really going anywhere, but we have the Star of Hope. So this, again, I come back to the sophistication of the military and the strategies that they'll be coming up with to handle this. What's unseen? The King of Cups moving toward this new energy. The Queen of Wands. This, again, is a plan, but it's also seeing what others can't see and planning. However, we've got the Moon card here, secrets coming forward, things needing to be revealed. So this Queen of Wands tells us that things will be revealed. This King of Cups tells us that we're moving back into a more balanced, benign leadership. So my feeling is that some ways it will be a whitewash, but in others, it's actually going to take some sort of fairly decisive action so that this doesn't happen again. They were compromised. There's no two ways about it. And you're going to see the extent of this as time goes on. All right. Now I'm going to go to the Trump family. Trump's campaign manager, Brad Pascal, came out with this saying, or this statement, that the Trump family was creating a political dynasty. Well, he mustn't have attended Donald Trump Jr.'s rally the other day, because there was no one at it. It was absolutely cringeworthy. But let's ask the question: is the Trump? I can only imagine that the Trump name will be absolutely mud after Trump finishes. But let's have a look. Trump, the Trump political dynasty is the Trump. Okay, I don't think so. The Ten of Swords is the Trump is Donald Trump has created a political dynasty. Is there now a Trump? Oh, more cards to fly out. That card, that Ten of Swords. Oh, is he? No, that's a no, by the way. That card is one of the strongest no's. Okay, but look, well, let's see. All right. Let's gather our energies. Is there a Trump political dynasty? Has a Trump political dynasty been created? And will the Trumps in the immediate future or shorter term future really hold sway in American politics? Trump American politics, is there a dynasty? Okay, so of course, we've got the merchant card here as the signifier card, and he's got that red hat on. It's going to be very hard for me to read it now without actually, laughing and not seeing the humorous side. The smug merchant. Okay, this card came up pre 2016 for Donald Trump. This is the reality show. Wasn't a star. He was a reality show person with his cups all lined up behind him, tinfoil cups, and his big orange hair, sitting down with his. This is the Apprentice Trump. The Apprentice. That's it. Reality show TV. Oh, challenged by the Emperor. Okay. Okay, so the reality show Trumps are actually challenged by Trump, the president now, okay? They're the signifier cards. You can't make this up. Let me pull the laptop down. Okay. So we've got the government as the foundation of the reading. Thankfully, we're starting to see a bit of sense coming through now. Hard work, okay? The Ten of Wands. These are completion cycles. The Ten of Swords, the Ten of Wands. They're all at the end of the cycle, and it's really heavy lifting for them. The emotion. What's in the sky? The Ace of Cups. This is a new start for the Trumps, but I don't think it's a political dynasty. This is a high level of emotion. I think that what the Trumps will be doing will be trying to manage their overwhelming emotion at the end after this is all over. This is if you look at the water, this is, as I said, very, very strong emotions. Let's see. Okay, so in the immediate future, we've got the Victory card. I'm going to clarify that. It's sitting alongside the president, the challenge to the actual Trump dynasty. Let's just call that the Trump dynasty. Okay. Okay. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, so what this is relating to is justice, okay, and new starts for America. Whoa, let me just stop here and go back a bit. The Ace of Cups, new starts, but also strong emotion coming forward in relation to the Trumps. Victory for everybody, let's face it, not just you, it's me as well. And why? Because justice is actually currently being done. Let's see what the environment around. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, there's always the serious pull you up kind of message coming here. The lack around the, I might have been laughing, I'm not laughing anymore. But this is around loss here, and it's financial loss. So what this is saying is that the Trumps are going to sustain quite significant financial loss at the end of the day, and they're going to be locked out of things. They're actually going to be, I won't go as far as to say pariahs, but they will not. This is, I feel, why we've had. It's funny how the readings blend into one another. Why we've had a push here with Trump and his emoluments violations or potential violations. It's because he's actually hemorrhaging money. It's because people don't want it. Not that they'd let me into America. I really think that they would put me in a room and start to interrogate me. So I'm not coming to America until after Trump goes. But I do feel that part of all of this getting government services to use his hotels, it's because he's losing money. But this, for the Trump children and particularly for Donald Trump, there's no way that I would stay in a Trump hotel. No way. And I feel other people would be doing the same. We know that the Trump name has been chiseled off buildings, apartment buildings, because people don't want to buy apartments in those buildings anymore. So this is really what the justice at the end of the day is going to be. It's going to be through loss for the Trump family. So that poor old Brad Pascal needs to have a reality check. The hope is that there will be more balance coming into, and well, it's more than a hope now. Balance is coming. The temperance card. Again, I go to this December time frame. Yeah, it would crush him. And we've got the Wheel of Fortune turning. This is again because we've had the Victory card and the Ace of Cups for the actual America and the world. Things are going to start to get better for us, but it is also just a question of time here for the Trumps. Let's get some clarifying cards. Because why? Because we've got the Seven of Swords. This is this theft around, and I'm going back to my emoluments readings, this theft around use of taxpayers' funds. And there's more to it. It's what's happened in its entirety during his time. I might just put in a reading about Saudi Arabia. What have they given the Trump's money? Well, we know that they have, but let's just see what we can see there, because we've got this truth coming forward. Honestly, aren't the cards lovely? For all my angst last night, I would have to say that when I do readings like this and I get cards like this, it kind of makes me feel a lot better. Unseen energies. Remember, these unseen energies are actually happening now in relation to this question. We've got obstacles and challenges here for the Trump dynasty, which isn't going to happen because justice is on their tail. Obstacles and challenges. Retreat. All right. So this is really where we're getting to the heart of the matter now. That Five of Pentacles and the Four of Swords is indicating that they're going to retreat. And there's also going to be surprise news coming forward as well, which we're not going to expect. I wonder what that is. I wonder if that's, I wonder what could that be? I mean, it could be anything, but where I'm going with this, and you let me know what your intuitions are, is someone leaving. Someone close to Trump leaving, pulling out, going. Who would that be? Would that be Melania? Would that be Javanka? All right, let's ask. Because we keep getting that Three of Swords coming up for Donald Trump. It could be interpreted as a divorce. So let's look at it this way. Is Melania Trump a bar? Yeah, bar, you hope. We can read on bar while we're here. Where are we? 38. We've got some time. Is Melania Trump going to leave Donald Trump? Is this what the Three of Swords is all about? Is this what the loss is going to be? Is Melania leaving Donald Trump? Oh, endings and beginnings as a signifier card. That's a yes card as well. Challenged by, it's just hard work for her. This is a completion cycle. All right. Yeah, these are all major arcana and yeses. Chariot, things coming forward very, very quickly. Here she is. That's interesting. in the past position, the Queen of Pentacles, is she talking to somebody? Has she talked to investigators? Or this could just be her, this is the Mother card. This is definitely someone who is a woman managing money, etc., in a position. There's a domestic aspect to this Queen of Pentacles, but she's here. She's in this reading. Okay, so there's an ending coming up here. All right, and a new beginning. And there's also news. That's also communications. She's already looking to distant horizons and already looking to move on from Trump. This is commerce and expansion. She could also be looking to live back overseas. She's challenged by the American voter. She's challenged and also by the needs of her family as well. It could be that she's going to take them away from this whole Trump world. Yeah, hopes and fears. The money is stopping her at the moment, and also her share of his estate could also be fear of money loss as well. The Hierophant and the government. The government is the outcome on the whole Melania question, and it is because of this grifting, the Merchant card, the ending, death. Yes. Okay. Unseen. She's already got a plan. Here she is. It's been in her subconscious for quite some time, and she's going to come out as a victor. So Melania is certainly getting ready to make her move. She could be going to live overseas. She could even have money overseas, and I think I did read that she did. Okay, one quick look. What's this? Oh, Ivanka leaving would crush him to the core. Well, let's ask that. I might just give these a really good shuffle. Is Ivanka considering leaving? There's some kind of surprise news coming down the pipe. Is Ivanka thinking of leaving? Is Ivanka thinking of leaving? Is Ivanka thinking of leaving? Melania certainly has a plan. That marriage is over. All right. Is Ivanka thinking of leaving? Just so we can get a good, accurate reading. Is Ivanka thinking of leaving? Ooh, I won't take those. Oh, there's too many of them. Is Ivanka thinking of leaving? Is Ivanka thinking of leaving? So I'm hearing yes. Somebody's telling me yes. This is signifier card. This can be Jared as well. Her father and Jared are making money. This is the businessman card. Oh, challenged by new starts in the sword of truth and justice. Okay, there is a new start here. There's a new start for Ivanka, and this could be breaking away from her father, but it could also be breaking away from Jared, because right now this Nine of Wands is the foundation of the reading, and she is tired, she's fatigued, she's battle weary. Okay, she retreated some time ago. We've got the Four of Swords. I know in the photo she looks, like she's sort of enjoying being, the queen for a day, but there's something else going on here as well. There's a retreat here. There's victory in the sky. Whatever, it's too soon to tell, but whatever she's doing, whatever this retreat was to ensure victory for herself. Because of, look at this, end of a cycle, too hard going. Yep, relocation, moving on. And this is a now. This is in the now position, the Six of Swords. What is it challenged by? Isolation. Okay, isolation. And this is again coming up for Trump. Trump being increasingly isolated. I think she's going to bail. It could be that she's doing a deal. She has in the past. Has she spoken to Mueller? There is an abuse of power here for Ivanka Trump. She's also suggesting may have turned on her father, but look, we've got defending herself over her abuse of power, and we've got justice coming for Ivanka. She's what we've got, unseen energies, the Chariot, things come forward strongly. We've got family. This could also be her number one consideration is her family. We've also got this overseas aspect as well. Wow. She's definitely thinking of moving. She's definitely thinking of leaving. This is a regime, viewers, that is on its tail end. Okay, on its tail end. And those two women closest to Trump know it, and they're making plans around largely to save their children, save their families, get out. They can see the writing on the wall. Now, women do have an intuition, and women do plan ahead. And I believe that Melania and Ivanka are both doing that. Okay, now I just want to answer one more question before we go. It is a question from one of the patrons. They wanted to look at, I was going to say Bill Gates as an example, but Bill Gates, I think, might be tied some way to, well, there are rumours that he could be linked in some way to Jeffrey Epstein. I'm not sure how that's true. But people like Bill Gates and other philanthropists, why do they do what they do? I think Steve Judd, I mean, they make a lot of money, but they also set up foundations and they give a lot of money away. The billionaires that have given most of their fortune to help others, why do they do that? What sets them apart from people like Donald Trump and the Koch brothers? What sets them apart? Why do they do what they do? What light bulb moment goes on for them that they go, okay, well, I don't need this much money. I'm going to give my hard-earned wealth to others. Koch brothers, thank you. Okay, so thanks for the spelling as well, Jana. I immediately knew what you meant, C-O-K-E. Actually, I do have a Coca-Cola glass here that I think one of my children got from McDonald's, so the Koch brothers. Ooh. Let's have a look then. What sets these philanthropists apart? Why are they different from people like Trump and the Koch brothers? What insight do they have that the others don't have? Why do philanthropists do what they do? What motivates philanthropists to do what they do? Okay, we've got the Three of Cups, sharing. That's lovely. Look at the three crows. I'm using my crow tarot. The three crows drinking out of the three cups. And look what else is in this card. It's a wreath. It's a victory wreath. So I asked what sort of light bulb moment they have. The real win for these people is giving their fortune away. The real win for them is sharing with others. Oh, that's beautiful. Let me just, and it's so nice coming after the readings that we've done. There's no real challenges for them. This is around the Page of Pentacles. This is money news. The other victory for them is when they do give away their fortune, we know about it. When they do these wonderful philanthropic acts, we find out about it. And all of that adds to the sharing. Oh, that's beautiful, and a victory for them. Oh my goodness, the Star of Hope. This is beautiful. This is the foundation of the reading. It's such a positive thing that they do that it actually engenders hope in the world. They're doing this on a number of levels, and here's the victory wreath as well. They have an insight that others don't have. Absolutely. It also enriches them as well. They've come to an end of the cycle, and the collaborations and networks actually change them. When they do these philanthropic acts, it involves a lot of people, and all of this it actually matures them. They evolve out of these philanthropic acts. So on a number of levels. It works. Philanthropic acts actually do more than just what they're set up to do. They operate on a number of levels. Interestingly enough, in the past, we've got money insecurity. It's in the past position. So this is them holding tight to their money. Something massive has changed in them, that they have gone from this position to the Three of Cups. It's quite ironic, isn't it? Oh, beautiful. This is happiness and joy. Wow, these are some really major arcana coming out here that are telling a powerful story. It makes them happy. It brings them joy. Okay, that's really lovely. And it brings the balance in here as well with this Temperance card. Remember, this Temperance card's coming up as an outcome card for Trump a lot lately in terms of bringing the balance back. So, look, we've got the Sun card, we've got the Temperance card, we've got the Nine of Swords. So it could be that when you look at these two cards, they've learned about the falseness, I guess, of hanging on to money, but also anxiety around money, anxiety around achieving, anxiety around this whole, creating a fortune. They've done it the hard way. But they've come to a crossroads at some point. They want to let go of the businessman and bring in this philanthropic energy, and to do that, they compromise against around this insecurity here. They let it go. Basically, they decide to let it go. And look, they fear being chained to their money with this Devil card in the hopes and fears position. Look, we've got a 10 and we've got a 5. The 5 is all about exploration and change. They're moving away from the kinds of things that motivate people like the Koch brothers and Donald Trump, and they're moving more toward this Sun energy, the Star energy, the Three of Cups. And look what they are. This is this leadership, the King of Cups. How beautiful. How absolutely beautiful. This is the father, the benign, the giver, the supporter. They move from they fear this greed and avarice, and they move toward this energy. Now, I want to say again that this King of Cups is coming up more and more and more in the USA and the world readings. We really are at the end of this cycle. We really are, and we're moving into this. We've got the Hanged Man. So again, because I've spoken about we're moving. It's not an easy transition for these philanthropists. But they come home to themselves at the end of the day with this Four of Wands. It's a celebration. It's a celebration. So what do we have at the base of the energy? This is the Moon card is around confusion. So this process of them moving from this energy to this energy is a process for them. We have the Magician. So we move from confusion toward actually creating this creation energy. And it's also reworking things. They actually reevaluate. It's a huge reevaluation for them. And we've got the Lovers card. So they move. This is about moving from the businessman to the philanthropist, and it's a big journey. It's a journey that others don't make, and it's a journey that sets these philanthropists apart. So when I read that someone kept, a billionaire kept a couple of million for themselves so that they can live in their log cabin and gave the rest of their fortune away, it's that kind of movement from that, that holding money close through the Devil and toward this Sun, Three of Cups energy. So that was a question that someone asked me. I think it was Ginny asked me. So I thought I would pick that up and we'd finish on that. So the King of Cups energy, watch for that card coming up more and more now because we're moving into that. Now, I'm not saying that suddenly politicians will become philanthropists. It's just that voters are demanding more King of Cups and less Devils. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. I think we've been through a bit of a journey ourselves today, and I guess one thing to meditate on is attachment to money and to those superficial things. I actually had a dream the other night that it's interesting. I'm just going back to the YouTube glitch that Revealing Light Tarot was on, it was on a theatre, like you would see notice of this is playing now. And when I went outside, the sign had just disappeared. I think that dream I had about a couple of nights before last night's glitch with the YouTube video going down. And thank you for letting me let that out and vent. But what else I've been thinking about is when we have attachment to outcomes, then we're starting to stray into the swamp a little bit. So really what I should do now is let that YouTube video go and find some stillness, acknowledge that for whatever reason it doesn't really matter, that video is not to be, and find another way. So I'll take another route. The reading that I'll do for YouTube to replace that won't be that same reading. So this moving through this journey to that King of Cups kind of energy, the Queen of Cups kind of energy, is really something that's made an impression on me this morning. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for dialing in. It's just lovely to see your comments and see you here. And I'll see you again next week. We'll go back, I think next Monday I'm okay to read at 10:30. So we'll go back to our normal time. So have a great week, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As I said, this Patreon platform is just wonderful. Just wonderful. So I'll see you next time, and have a great week. Thank you.